Hey everybody, I'm glad that you're here checking out this video. Now, I know AI is one of those things that either you are embracing it or you're afraid of it. But I want to share with you in this video why you shouldn't be afraid of AI. And I'm going to show you how you can use AI for your YouTube videos, for your podcast, in order to generate SEO-friendly keywords and descriptions and all those things. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using AI really simply and really easily. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me take you over to my computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here on my computer, I have ChatGPT up and I have been working on, actually just yesterday, we had a session on podcast SEO. It was a great session and it was led by Heidi De La Cruz. She is a podcaster. She's won awards with her podcast and she's a writer as well. So she taught on podcast SEO. Now, I want to publish this video to YouTube. But in order for me to do that, I need to generate a few things like an episode title, a description, text for the thumbnail, all these things. But what I decided to do, instead of just doing it, I wanted to show you how I utilize ChatGPT in order to get the best type of information to put in those fields, because the algorithm is looking at the keywords and the way that we structure the titles and the descriptions and all these things that we put into our podcast and into our YouTube videos, right? So this is a YouTube video that I'm putting this on. So what I did, I came up with this prompt here that I'm going to put into ChatGPT right now, and I'm going to read it for you so you guys can see what I wrote. Now, the key thing when you're using ChatGPT is as much information you give it, it has to be, really rich and really specific in order to give you the best possible results, okay? But this is what I shared onto ChatGPT for to give me what I need for the title of my podcast. So listen to this. It said, I had a live class about podcasts and SEO that I'm posting to YouTube. The class was taught by Heidi De La Cruz, who is the host of a podcast called The American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants. She shared how to use keywords in our podcast titles, our episode titles, descriptions, and show notes. She also shared some online resources that we can use to do keyword research. I also shared how to optimize thumbnail images for those who publish their episodes onto YouTube. Now, here's the question that I'm asking ChatGPT. Check this out. Give me some SEO optimized titles for this online class that I can use for YouTube. All right, so I type that into ChatGPT. I press the button and let's see the results that it gives me. So it gives me first an SEO focused and keyword rich titles that I can use. And it gave me 10 suggestions that I can choose from. I scroll down and then they give me a different style of titles. So problem/solution style titles, which is really cool. Struggling to get podcast listens? Try these SEO hacks. Maybe. From hidden to heard, use SEO to grow your podcast audience. I don't know. Maybe. And then it also gave me some episode titles where I can feature the guest. Okay, so Heidi De La Cruz teaches how to use keywords to grow your podcast, and SEO tips from Heidi De La Cruz to get your podcast discovered. I like the way these suggestions that it gave me here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go with one of these ones here, these keyword rich ones. I don't know which one, but I'm probably going to pick one of these. But as you can see here, it gave me 10, 15, 18 different suggestions for the title of my episode that I'm going to put onto YouTube. And all I need to do is just pick one. All right. So this is the first step. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want ChatGPT to give me the description that I can use in the video that I'm going to publish to YouTube. All right. So I have a prompt that I'm going to put into ChatGPT now using the same thread. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what is the description? What should the description be for this episode? All right. So let's get this here. All right. So I'm just going to type it in here. It actually asks me, would you like me to write you a YouTube description and some SEO tags to go along with each one? And I'm just going to put this here. Give me a description that is SEO optimized for this video as well, right? It's key. You put these words in there. Now, if I want more specifics, you just add the specifics in here and ChatGPT will do its thing. All right, but let's just put that there and see what it gives me. All right, here we go. So podcast SEO training, how to use keywords to grow your podcast. Okay, so it used one of the titles from the previous question that I asked it. So it says, learn how to make your podcast more discoverable on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube by using proven SEO strategies. In this live class, podcast host and SEO expert Heidi De La Cruz, host of The American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants podcast, shares actionable tips on how to optimize your podcast titles, episode description, show notes, and YouTube thumbnails. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of that for you, but it's important that when you get these details from ChatGPT that you read through them and make sure that they're applicable to what you're posting, because you might need to tweak them a little bit, and you might need to tweak them a lot actually if your question isn't specific enough. So this one that I have here, I'm going to have to do some tweaks to it to get it to fit, but I think I can use this. Yeah. So let's get back to this. Okay. So it gave me a whole bunch of information here, and resources mentioned. Yeah, I'm going to put resources as well. And also, I like what it does here. It says, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more podcasts and tips and live training replays. I like that, because that's what the podcast lab is about. It's about these online events that I'm going to have, collaboration, place where podcasters can connect. I'll probably work that into the description here myself, but this gives me a really good starting place. Actually, there's very little that I need to do to this in order to use it for the video that I'm going to publish. But the next thing that we need to focus on is the thumbnail image. Now, what I usually do is I have a separate title that I put on the thumbnail image. And I want that title to read like a headline on a blog post. Like when you're searching on Google and Google gives you a list of results, those are the headlines, the headline text from the blog post. Or if you think of a newspaper, the headline of a newspaper. I want the text on my thumbnail image to read like a headline, so it pops out when people see it and they could connect with it and be encouraged to click on it, read it, watch it, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me some suggestions for my text for my thumbnail. All right, so I have a prompt here that I'm going to put into ChatGPT right now. It says, can you give me suggestions for a thumbnail text that stands out like a headline so that it can capture the attention of anyone scrolling? And that's what I wrote, and I love the way that sounds. So let's see what ChatGPT gives me. All right, so you press enter. It says, absolutely, here are some eye-catching thumbnail and text ideas. Okay. Right, so it gave me 8. Let me see if there's more. Yeah, 10. Okay, so for high impact text ideas, I can pick one of these that actually stand out to me. And let me scroll down some more. It says tips for maximum impact. Okay, so it actually gives me some tips on how to design the thumbnail image. So it says use high contrast colors, white, yellow text on a dark background or vice versa. It says include a close-up of you or Heidi with a curious or expressive face. Okay. And it says add a small image of a podcast mic or SEO graph for context. Okay, those are good suggestions. The last one says to highlight one keyword in bold or a different color. Example, SEO or growth. And it even asks me if it can generate the image, but I don't think ChatGPT is at the level to do that just yet, because I don't like the way that their images are. It has lots of growth still that needs to be done for ChatGPT to give me a really good image. All right, but I'm going to stop here, and I hope you see how to use ChatGPT for the titles of your videos that you put on YouTube or your podcast titles, how to generate descriptions for it, and also the thumbnail text. ChatGPT can give you a lot of good suggestions based on the data it already has when it searches the internet to answer your question. But again, if you are specific with your questions that you ask ChatGPT, that will drastically increase the quality of the responses you get back from ChatGPT. So be very specific when you're asking ChatGPT for anything. But I hope this helped you. Now, I have tons of resources on the YouTube page for podcasters to level up their podcast. And I have a podcast called I Made a Podcast that you can listen to, where I've interviewed lots of podcasters to get the tips and the tricks that they use on their podcast. I would encourage you to go check it out. Now, as I end every episode of my podcast, remember, the best time to start a podcast was 10 years ago. And the second best time is right now. So go ahead and make it happen. And I hope this video helped you, all right? And if it does, make sure that you subscribe, all right? Peace.